Every house on this block for sale is free. I am so not kidding. Every piece of real estate I buy is free. Would you like to learn how to get some free real estate? Today, I'm gonna show you how to buy all this real estate with no money. It's free real estate.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
How to buy real estate with no money down? Oh, come on, Kris. In today's market, with all the crazy stuff going on, this is not real. This is fake. This isn't real. Actually, it's very real.
Is this real?
Now, if you're a subscriber on my channel, you're aware that I created $1.6 million and retired on it with just $5,000. I took 14 months of my life, I saved up my money, and I bought a house with a 3% down payment. Now, that's not what I'm talking about today, but I did use the equity from that first house, got a home equity line of credit, pulled it out, used it as a down payment on my second. Then I used the equity in that second house, I used it to buy my third. And then from there, I just started buying all sorts of houses without ever taking money out of my own pocket. And it's true, $1.6 million spread over 25 deals was giving me a six-figure residual income, and I became financially free. So even though I didn't buy my first house with no money down, I learned on every house after how to do it. And today, I'm gonna show you how. Now let's be really clear with each other. There are in fact 4 elements to each real estate transaction. I'm gonna show you what they are. I want you to understand what they are, because if you do, I can then show you how to gamify the system and start getting your hands on real estate with just one technique, no money out of pocket whatsoever. Spoiler alert, if you are a subscriber on my channel and you actually like me as a person, then you're really gonna like this hack, because I'm kind of involved in making it happen for you. The first of the 4 elements for being able to do this is you gotta get your hands on a really good deal. Like, it can't just be like, hey, this is a normal house. There's gotta be an angle. It's like, well, I'm gonna rent it or I'm gonna do a lease option. Like, you have to have a strategy and you have to buy it in a certain way where it becomes a really good deal. Check it out. The deal is the most important part of investing in real estate. Anyone can go out and be convinced to buy a property, but if you can identify a deal with a high ROI or a return on investment, then the money to fund it can always be found. In other words, you know what? I never had a hard time finding money as long as I first found a really good deal. Because a deal is like a pile of money waiting to be made, and someone out there with money is like, I see that. I see the potential in the house. I see the money I can make. Why wouldn't I give you the money?
Show me the money!
Once you have a deal, the second thing that you're gonna need is money, right? There's that adage, it takes money to make money. But remember, they never said whose money it has to be. There's this phrase out there called OPM, stands for other people's money. Let me give you an example. Odds are you know someone who's wealthy or financially well off, or who at least has enough money in a retirement account to be able to afford a home. Like, it's amazing. People put money in 401ks and IRAs or savings, or even just, hey, I own a home and then the equity went up 100 grand last year. That's money that can be accessed to put in a property. And if you don't have enough money to fund a deal, someone else does, and you can leverage that to buy your first property. Like, as in, when it came time to buy my 4th house, I couldn't pull equity out of my 3rd deal yet, but I wanted to go fast. My father-in-law got curious after I bought these 3 homes and said, you know what? I'll put up the money. I'm a little skeptical. We'll split the profits 50-50, and if it works, maybe we'll do it again. 6 months later, sold the house. We both made a ton of money, and guess what? He bought my 5th house, my 6th, my 7th. We partnered up. And you know what? We've never looked back since. We've done 50 deals together, but that's just the first now of hundreds of partners that I've done this with. Now hold the phone, Kris. Before we go into the 3rd element, let's just talk about this for a second, because I know what you're thinking. God, Kris, you must have gotten lucky to have known somebody with money. But I'm telling you that people everywhere, they think they're broken. They think they're broke because they've got no money in their bank accounts. My father-in-law didn't have money in his bank account. He had money in a 401k. Then he had money in an IRA. Then he had some equity. He had bought his house years earlier. It went up in value. Truth is, I call these hidden assets. People got them everywhere. They're not rich, right? They don't consider themselves wealthy and super well-to-do. But the truth is, they have that 20% down payment to buy an investment property. In today's market, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 seems like a lot, but they've got it. And it's enough to put into a really good deal, which means all you got to really have access to is a really good deal. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to get access to unlimited really good deals. Okay, Kris, I found the deal, I found the money, now I need credit. And you know what, not gonna lie, this is something that shies a lot of people away. They're scared. They're like, well man, I once tried to qualify for this credit card or this bank loan, and I didn't qualify, and I get nervous about my credit. Is my credit score good enough? Listen, credit's one of those things that you either use yours or you use somebody else's, and it's a commodity. It's available everywhere. You gotta stop thinking, how can I limit myself? I don't got the money, I don't got the credit. Listen, you can't win life when you play it that way. Life is a game and it's meant to be won. And it starts by just saying, hey, I'm basically structuring and pulling deals together. They got the money, they got the credit, they got the deal. Shoot, I'm just pulling it all together. Credit refers to the credit worthiness or the credit history of an individual or a company. The better your credit, the more favorable loan terms that you can expect from a bank. When I bought my very first house, my credit was like 660. And then my mentor was like, yo, you need to go and like get some cards and you got to like pay them off and use them and pay them off. And a year later, by the time I bought my first house, I had one of my scores up to a 680, one at a 690, which, you know, isn't like really good credit. It's more like average, maybe even a little below average. But you know what? It was enough to buy that first property. And then afterwards, guess what happened? My credit increased because the bank said, yo, that kid is making his payments on time. I wasn't making the payments. The renter was. They were paying my mortgage. They were building equity for me. I was just keeping the leftover cash flow. Okay, Kris, I did it. I found a good deal. I found the money. I found the credit. I even bought the house. But you know what? I never said I wanted to be a landlord. You don't have to be a landlord. The fourth step, the fourth essential element is management. Somebody needs to do that. Are you starting to like understand a little bit the way my mind works? If you're not, you got to be a subscriber on this channel so I can elevate your financial genius. Here's what it sounds like. If you want something done right, don't do it yourself. Kris, you're so funny. I was told that if you want to do it done right, you need to do it yourself. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But you know what? Being a lone wolf can only take you so far in life. You're going to have to learn how to trust other people and bring other intelligent people into your life. Those risks can give you really high rewards. That's true of a management team. From LLCs and legalities to repairs and rentals, it takes a lot of work to manage a rental property. In order to have true passive income from real estate, effective management systems must be put in place. Now you might say, I'm that guy. I want to do it. This is fun for me. Or you might say, I'm definitely hiring a property manager to do it for me. Or if you read my book, Straight Path to Real Estate Wealth, you might say, lease options. I'm going to have the tenants manage it themselves. Either way, there's a myriad of strategies for getting this property managed. Don't be afraid. All you have to do is get educated. Now, I did promise you that I was going to show you how to do this deal with no money out of pocket, but I have something more to teach you first, and it's this. What if you could double your money every 5 years? Well, here's how I do it. When I buy property, I got standards. I need an ROI, a return on investment, which means how much am I making on the money put out, whether mine or somebody else's. I need it to be a minimum of 25% on average. And let me show you why. Let's just say for a moment that you could find a really good deal on a house. Let's say that you got a partner to put up the money if you didn't have it yourself. Let's say that you had a property manager get this thing actually managed, and now you got this deal. If you bought it with a 25% ROI, let's just look at what happens mathematically. Let's just say for the ease of numbers that you needed $40,000 to buy this property. What is 25% of $40,000? Well, a quarter of $40,000 is $10,000. And that's just in year one. But what about years 2, 3, and 4? Well, it's going to compound and get bigger, but let's just say each year it's just static, an extra 10,000 each year. Well, look at what's happening here. I put 40 in, and each year I make 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. By my 5th year, if I've made another $10,000, guess what? That's a total of a $50,000 increase. I can now sell this house, maybe that wipes out $10,000, and my $40,000 turned into a $40,000 profit. Okay, Kris, makes sense. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sell this guy, and I'm going to take it and buy 2 more. Because remember, my original 40 grand, that's the down payment into this home, and my 40,000 of profit is the down payment into this home. Basically, 5 years later, I went from 1 home to 2. Well, 5 years later, you can go to 2 to 4, and 5 years later, 4 to 8, and 5 years later, 8 to 16, and all of a sudden, guess what? You're on my path that made me a multimillionaire. And now my friend has promised I am gonna show you that no money down technique, that favorite technique of mine. There's many no money down techniques, but this one is for sure my all-time favorite. You see, I hope you understand by now that if you don't got money, if you don't got credit, no problem. You just have to get creative. You see, we're limited by our creativity. I created a program called Maverick, and I wanna show you how it works. You see, there's a lot of people that are out there saying, well, Kris, you just told me today, step one is find a really good deal. What if I told you that I find really good deals? And then you're like, okay, Kris, well, if you're gonna do that part for me, then what do you want me to do? I want you to do the second step. I want you to find money. And how you find money is by finding investors. Think about it. Instead of hunting properties, I'm gonna invite you to be my business partner. Would you like to earn an equal share of money on a real estate deal with me doing all of the work? It's simple. You got to go out there and find people that meet this criteria. You're looking for someone that says, hey, I really don't got money. I'm not happy with like the advent of my retirement, but it turns out I've either been saving money in a 401k or an IRA or have equity in a home, as in like if they owned a home pre-pandemic, it's gone up 100 or 200,000 in value, they got money. Or they could say I've got money in savings or an annuity. If they have money in any of these things that equal a minimum of $50,000, then watch this. Tell them to watch this video. Tell them to watch my YouTube channel. Tell them to watch me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere where you can find me. And eventually they might say, you know what? I like this guy you've talked to me about. He has a partnering program and I want to learn about it. So you submit him to my company and guess what? If they partner with me, they're going to be putting up the money. And you did one of the most important parts. They're also going to put up the credit. And then of course, I am going to be the manager and I'm going to do the work to make sure that this deal produces a minimum of a 25% ROI. Now you're thinking, okay, Kris, this sounds pretty neat, but what do you mean we become equal partners? Like what's my share in this house? Well, it looks like this. This house is owned 50% by the investor. That's this person. It's also owned 50% by me and you. So my half, it looks like this. Of that 50%, 25% goes to me, 25% goes to you. Equal business partners. That 50% is something we share. One house over 20 years, my goal is to turn it into $4.3 million. Now, half of that goes to the investor. That's $2 million. The other half comes to me, $2 million. And one of those million is for you, and one of those million is for me. Now, just imagine if you could find people all day long to partner with me. But Kris, I don't know anyone with money like that. I get it. What if I told you that I had a system where you could go onto LinkedIn, a social platform, 20 minutes a day, and literally just cut and paste things, and that automatically would find people that meet this criteria, talk to my company, and then if they partner with me, I got a guy who every month finds a partner this way. He's bought 8 homes this year alone with none of his own money and none of his own credit. And guess what? He's on track to make millions of dollars, and you could be too. If you'd like to buy real estate with no money and no credit, then you should consider becoming my partner for life inside my Maverick program. It is literally one of the easiest ways to get out there and make real estate happen. There's a link below where you can talk to a member of my team and say, hey, what is this Maverick thing and what do I have to do to become Kris's partner for life? It takes almost nothing. So if you click the link, request information, my team will come out, they will get on the phone with you, they'll explain how it works, and guess what? You literally might be one phone call away from me being your partner for life and using this system to do all sorts of no money down, no credit down deals. Man, Kris, how could I even think of partnering when I might never be able to afford a home myself? Listen, in this market, you can't be thinking about you. You got to be thinking about your future. And remember, it doesn't have to take money to become wealthy. Look at how I became financially free. Listen, you're probably already a subscriber on my channel. And guess what? You've been watching videos, right? Isn't it time for us to engage? Let's get started right now. There is that link below. Click it, talk to my team, become my partner. And then if you really are still concerned about how you can get a house for yourself and how you might ever be able to afford one in a weird economy like this, watch this video. I will show you how. Today, I'm gonna show you how to buy all this real estate with no money. One more.